Swing and a drive.
Welcome to Red, White, and Blue Jays, the podcast home of Blue Jays Fans UK, a group connecting Blue Jays fans around the UK and beyond, and telling their story. And now, here's the host of Red, White, and Blue Jays, Steve Hunter.
Hey everyone, good afternoon to you. Welcome to another episode of Red, White, and Blue Jays. Hope you're all doing well. Feeling really excited today, as at the time of recording, the GB ladies have just won the most monumental semi-final in the curling. I know you guys are all massive curling fans. Loved watching them. Oh, don't know how they came back, having gone 4-0 down in the first end. Brilliantly fought all their way back through the game, went to an extra end in the 11th. And they have literally this afternoon just brought that home. I know by the time you listen to this, both the gold medal match for the ladies and the guys will have come and gone. And so hopefully we've got some gold medals to show for it. But I have to say, I'm really excited about what's happened this afternoon. And of course, the other big news today, the time of recording, is that Storm Eunice is just making itself known across the UK. I hope everybody's staying safe and that you're all well. I think we've got away fairly lightly here, which I'm very grateful for. A little bit of the neighbour's fence fell off, and thankfully avoided my car. Yeah, I think we've done okay, but seen a few reports around the country that quite a few places have got well battered. To see the O2 Arena has lost quite a bit of its roof. Several trees down around the Bournemouth area where I am, but generally, thankfully, we are in good shape. Really excited about this evening, catching up with a good friend of mine, David. In fact, actually, we're probably going to talk to him a little bit about the curling because he comes from Scotland and I'm sure he's had a go. One of those things I'd have always fancied pushing myself down the rink. But yeah, looking forward to chatting with David. He's been a long-time supporter of the Jays, particularly in and around Twitter. I'm sure many of you will have come across him, but please make sure you say hi to him and enjoy this one with David.
The podcast home of Blue Jays Fans UK. You're listening to Red, White, and Blue Jays.
Thrilled to have Dave with us this evening, a long-time friend of mine. Really been looking forward to catching up with him. Dave, thank you so much for spending a bit of time. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thank you very much for having me. I'm pleased to be here and hopefully everyone can understand my accent. Oh,
excellent. You know, I always love having the Scottish guys with us because it always just brings a slightly different dimension to our conversations. But
new words as well.
New words, yeah, absolutely. And what I do really appreciate, because I know you've got a new wee nipper in your family, and so we've been sort of trying to dive in between feeding sessions and all that sort of stuff. And then yesterday, with my broadband not working very well, thanks so much for just juggling things around.
Oh, no problem. He's over at my in-laws today, so I've got a wee bit of downtime. He's 3, I'm afraid now. He's yeah, can't believe that. But
yeah, that's gone quickly, hasn't it?
Very quickly.
Yeah, no, totally. So, Dave, just for sort of introduction to you and your family, and obviously a little bit in terms of what you're doing in life, just give us a bit of background to you.
Okay, so I stay in East Kilbride, which is just south of Glasgow. I am a music teacher, a woodwind teacher. So I work for Falkirk Council around different schools, teaching saxophone, clarinet and flute. I'm married, my wife Jen, we've been married for 11 years and we've got a wee boy Scott, as I say, he turned 3 at the weekend there. Yeah, that's
brilliant.
Who I am.
So woodwind instruments, so is that something you've always played since you were a child? Is it something your parents encouraged you to do, or how did that all happen?
Yeah, I started in school, so first year up here, so I was like 11, I think. I just turned 11 or 12, just turned 12. And I kind of wanted to play an instrument. I was doing a wee bit of piano at that point, and then the chance came up to play saxophone or clarinet, and I was like, I really want to play the saxophone. much to mum and dad's annoyance, because they were like, like money was tight and stuff, and they're like, so and so's selling a clarinet, we can get that really cheap. And I was like, no, I want to play saxophone. And I don't know why, but something just attracted to me about it. And so yeah, that was when I started at school and kind of played it through school, played in school bands and things like that, and just enjoyed it. And then towards the end of school, decided that's what I wanted to do at uni, and with an aim to teach when I came out. I've always kind of liked teaching in different capacities, so that's what I like to do. And I feel lucky to get a job. There's not many jobs go about, so I was lucky to get a job not too long after I graduated. And
yeah, I mean, that's brilliant. So in terms of, saxophone was always your primary instrument out of all the woodwind instruments?
Yep, definitely.
And am I right? This will be testing my music knowledge, but am I right in thinking a saxophone like B flat instrument? Is that right?
Yeah. So there's 4 main saxophones. 2 of them are B flat instruments, and 2 of them are E flat instruments.
Okay.
So whichever one it is, it's a pain. It's a pain doing it, but yeah, you need to transpose music and stuff. But
I was going to say, so for the uninitiated, what does that actually mean in reality?
Yeah. So if I'm playing the same music as someone, say, playing the piano, I need to play a different note. I need to read a different note in my head to what it says on the page so that it sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's a bit bizarre.
What is the background to why they did that? I mean, why that makes absolutely zero sense to anybody to make an instrument when you play one note sound different to another instrument playing the same note.
I don't know. I think, I guess it's to do with the key work and stuff, and it makes it more natural that way.
Right.
I think that's it. I remember years ago hearing a quote. Oh, who was it? It was either John Lennon or Paul McCartney. Someone was saying to them, I'm sure it was the saxophone they were talking about and how it transposed. It must have been John Lennon, actually, because Paul McCartney played the trumpet when he started. But they explained it to him, and he just was like, some stupid instruments. That's what he said. We'll say something stupid instrument. Yeah.
Of course. And so if you're playing other woodwind instruments, of course, some of those would be in concert pitch, or is that the right phrase?
Yeah, that's it. So the flute's concert pitch, the clarinet's in B flat as well.
Yeah. So a lot of jumping around in your head as you're playing.
Keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, totally. My older 2 girls, my eldest did clarinet, and my second eldest did oboe, and clarinet B flat and oboe in concert pitch. So we understand that little dilemma of trying to get them to play stuff at Christmas or whatever it was. And it's always like, oh, one's moaning because it's not in the right key and all that sort of stuff.
I know. So I kind of learned, like, I used to play in the band in church and stuff, and I kind of at some point learned to just transpose it in my head. I used to write it out, and it was probably laziness, to be honest, that I couldn't be bothered writing it out every week, and I learned to transpose it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing to do, but it's not something I do that often now.
Yeah.
But when I do it, it makes me think again. I need to stop and think and work, which is always a good thing, challenge yourself.
Yeah, no, exactly. And how is sort of the COVID season affected you? Because I know with my wife and her school, a lot of the woodwind instruments have had to be put to one side because of the issue of shared instruments and all that. Has that had a big impact on you? Yeah,
it did for a while. So I'm like senior tutor in our service, so I've got one day that I kind of, basically my boss had a child and cut back to 4 days, so I've got one day that I kind of cover for her effectively.
Right.
As we were coming to lockdown, she was pregnant, and right away they were like, you need to work from home, and that was me. I was like, thanks, Gail, that's awesome. I was in charge, so I'm trying to find my way through this with not a clue what I was doing. But we were told up in Scotland, it was a wee bit behind England and all that. We were told we couldn't play these instruments in school.
Yeah.
Which was a real pain, because we're still trying to do lessons with everyone. We didn't want to change the lessons to after school, because if that becomes the norm, then it changes the job and everything. We didn't want that. So we were trying to get kids to record their stuff at home and bring it in, and then we'd listen to the lessons and sit and chat about it, but it just wasn't the same, and I hated it, and you could see they hated that as well. They wanted to play their instrument, and like, my wife's an ICU nurse. I totally get how dangerous everything could be and all that, but at the same time I was like, this is just stupid, and they were saying, like, you can't have 2 people in any room playing an instrument, but you could have like 30 kids in a hall playing badminton.
Yeah.
And you're like, that makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Do you know, because it was the breathing they're saying, it's the breathing.
Mm.
I was like, there's no way you're doing less breathing playing badminton than you are playing a clarinet. It's just, yeah, it's just a wee bit of, I think, panic and not fully understanding what's going on. But anyway,
Sure.
kind of happened. And then when we went into lockdown, like last year at Christmas or whatever, that was actually better for us because then everyone was at home and we were doing online lessons. And so they were actually playing. It was horrible. We all hate Zoom and all that now, you know, because we've had so much of it. But that was good for us because we could do online lessons. The kids could actually play in their lesson. And for those 3 months, they made so much progress. It was incredible. But then we were kind of back in school and back to where we were and stuff. But thankfully now we're basically back to normal. You know, we're still, essentially I'm teaching with a screen between me and the people, but you know, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
And like the groups, the bands and the orchestras are back, which is great. The kids are all loving that. So
yeah,
that's good.
Very good. Excellent. Now, I know apart from music, you have another passion in life outside of the Blue Jays, and we will get to the Blue Jays. So handicap?
My handicap is, systems all change. My handicap is plus 1.4. Sometimes
plus 1.4. Right. How does that work?
It's plus 2.
Right. Okay.
It's all the new system. Yeah, they basically rate each course, and your handicap will vary from course to course depending how hard it is. So at my home course, my handicap's plus 2.
Right. Very good. So what's the backdrop to your golfing obsession?
So the way Mum and Dad tell it is I used to have these wee plastic clubs in the house, and I used to play with them in the house. And Mum says she get fed up with me breaking them. She's like, you swung them too hard, you hit the ball too hard, and they would break. And she would fix them with a chopstick. But they get fed up. So I think I was 4. I got my first real golf club.
Right.
Where we stayed, there was we stayed in the town, but it just happened to be a big grass field out in front of us, and so I could go out there and play golf, and it was great. And I don't really know. I just liked it. My dad, I think he'd not really started playing before me. I think I don't know, he didn't play, and then it was a doctor or something, some injury or something, and a doctor suggesting playing golf would help, and that was when he took it up. But
that's a nice, nice prescription.
Yeah, I know. I never get that one. It's funny that. But yeah, so just played from an early age, and then I just liked it. I wasn't any good at football and stuff like that. I loved playing sports on all sports. Like I played football with my friends. Yeah, I played cricket. I still played badminton. I would just try everything and do everything at school and that. And but I was good at golf. You know, we used to go to St Andrews on holiday.
Lovely.
I think we went 7 years in a row on holiday, and there was a putting green there called the Himalayan putting green. It's amazing. It's like huge big hills on it and stuff. And we just used to go down every day and enjoy it. And I mean, I remember wee bits of it. Mum and Dad always say though, we used to go and they'd be like, this is like the tee marker was an arrow, and it would tell you how to play the hole, and like you hit this way and it would come round off the hills. And like you were constantly going, it's not, you hit it this way, and you'd hit it a different way, and you'd end up closer than us and things like this. And I don't really know. I don't remember a whole lot of that, just wee bits of that, but that obviously helped because I was just doing that all the time. And then there was a wee 9-hole course that I could play with my dad there. So that was it. And then my dad had joined the club up the road from us, and I had to wait till I was 11. I think I was about 8 when he joined.
Right.
And I was absolutely desperate. So as soon as my birthday's September, so I've joined like just as we're coming into winter, but I was like, I want to join. So I joined the club, got my handicap, and then that's been it. Do you know, my school teacher, so I get summer holidays, which helps a wee bit. But
of course, yes. And I was going to say, because I mean, I played a bit of golf when I was younger, and then when we had family and stuff, that all sort of went to one side.
Yeah,
as you're probably finding now, because it's such a big chunk of time, isn't it, to do a round of golf. But I've just played again recently. I thought, oh yeah, I really miss the golfing days. But to get a handicap of it any sense, you're having to put a bit of work in, aren't you? So I was just school holidays, I guess, probably helps a lot.
I know it's hard work since my son's come along, and like I wouldn't change that for the world, obviously, but
of course
my wife's great. She's understanding, you know. So like the first part of the year, the kind of season, I usually play on a Saturday, and then I play for my team. So we've got team match, like we'll have one team match during the week at some point. But it's finding time to practice is a difficult bit. That takes a bit more effort and stuff. So something like, especially the start of the season, what I try and do is once a week, just get up early before work, try and get up to the club before 7 and just for half an hour or something, even hit some balls or do some chipping and things like that, and squeeze a wee bit of practice in just to keep it going.
Brilliant. I mean, I know you've played St Andrews fairly recently, but obviously you sounds like you've been there quite a few times on holiday. Any particular courses that you remember that, do you know what, that was just a brilliant course to play?
Yeah, so, well, St Andrews, I played St Andrews last year, the old course. That's the only time I've played that. That will be the only time I play that. Looking at the prices, it's unbelievable. But I kind of would just, my dad and I had always wanted to play it, and I just said to him, we need to just bite the bullet here. And so convinced him to play it, which was great. That was great and really good experience, especially having seen it for years and stuff.
Yeah.
I played a competition when I was at school. It was the Faldo Junior Series. It was like you had to be really low handicap to get in stuff. So I played that, and it was over 3 different courses. So there was Royal Dornoch, which was great. That's quite often rated in like the top 20 courses in the world. I played Blair Gowrie, which was, I really enjoyed that. It's a great course, but the other one was Loch Lomond, which is totally exclusive. Like you can't pay to get on there. You need to know somebody, do you know? And so we got to play there. We had a practice round and then the competition day the next day, and that was great. And I played absolutely terribly and loved every minute of it, you know. But the girl, I remember there was 3 of us. So the boy, I can't remember his name. He just annoyed me anyway. But there was a girl that was playing with us as well, and she's now a professional. She's trying to go into like the ladies European tour and stuff.
Yeah,
crazy name. So yeah, I kind of follow her on Twitter and see how she's doing and stuff. But
yeah,
that was an amazing course. If I could go back and play any course, that would be the one. But
very nice.
Much easier said than done.
Yeah, sure. Had you ever considered, you know, if the music thing hadn't worked out, professional golf? Was that ever on the radar at all?
Yeah, when I was young and stuff, that's what I always said I wanted to do and things. But I don't know. I just wasn't quite good enough, I guess. Like, although I'm playing off +2, it's a huge gap from where I am to being a professional.
Sure.
Like, it's because people always say to me, oh, like, you're better than scratch, you could be a professional, but it's not. It doesn't work like that. Like, it's a massive gap from me to like a kind of decent UK professional, never mind going on to like European tour or the PGA tour or anything like that.
Right.
Do you know, it's a huge gap, and a lot of professionals, they spend their time working in a professional shop and giving lessons, and I never really, as much as I like teaching, I never enjoyed teaching golf. Like I did wee bits with juniors and stuff. I never really enjoyed that the same. So no, I'm quite happy just working music and keep golf as my hobby and something.
And of course, you're living in the best part of the country for golf, aren't you? I mean, you know, the courses in Scotland.
Well,
would you say? Oh, okay. So there's a little maybe not.
Yeah, the East Newcastle, Scotland. That's the place to be for golf. That they get much better weather. The courses are much cheaper. Like membership, there's like half the price of what it is here in Central Belt.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I can't complain.
No, absolutely. Great. Well, I mean, we've seen you adorned in your Blue Jays paraphernalia when you've been out on the golf course on several of your tweets. So give us your Blue Jays story then. So how did that come about?
So my dad's cousin stays in Toronto or just outside. He stays in Ontario. And so now and again, like every few years, either we'd go over there on holiday or they'd come over here and stuff. And when they come over, they always brought hats and stuff.
Okay.
That's pretty much how it started. You know, my dad would like keep track of scores back then when he could and things like that. But then, so I was born in 85, so I was like 6, 7 when they won the World Series. So that was kind of, I wasn't following it, like I wasn't watching games and stuff then, but like I knew they'd won the World Series and then they won it again. I was like, this is cool. This is what we do every year. We win the World Series.
Amazing.
And that was the end of that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it started. So they're still out there. They stay in Niagara now.
Right.
Ironically, my uncle hates, I don't know if he hates the Blue Jays, he just hates Toronto, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he's just been put off by commuting for hours every day. But so we went out to visit them a few years ago, 2017, my wife and I, and got a couple of games out there and things. But I think that was how it started. My dad kind of liked it and just sort of tagged along. So
so obviously in 92, 93, you'd have been sort of 7, 8-ish age range. I mean, you must be one of the few people in our UK scene, at least, who actually remembers the World Series. I mean, it was just prior to me ever seeing the Jays play. I first saw them in 1994. So yeah,
So
you hold the record, I
yeah,
reckon.
I didn't watch it at the time, but I remember I just have a vague memory of my dad watching it when I was going to bed one night. I think he must have been watching a recording of it and talking about it. Just like a 5 second memory or something, you know. But that was kind of it. But I knew at the time, and I knew like some of the players' names. I knew like Kelly Gruber and Joe Carter and Roberto Alomar and stuff like that. I knew these names, but I couldn't, like, if you showed me a picture of any of them, I wouldn't have known who they were.
Sure.
Yeah, but that was it. And then like I had some uncle used to send over like the wee ball pennants and things like that, and
Right.
I had them in my room when I was young. But yeah, and a couple of t-shirts and things. That I had other family, mum's side of the family, my mum's sister and her husband and their kids. They stayed in Atlanta, and then they stayed in like Michigan and stuff. So I used to get stuff from them as well. But like, I'm sure there's a picture of me, I guess I'm like 7 or 8, wearing, in fact I must have been about 8, because I had a back-to-back World Series t-shirt on.
Amazing.
And an Atlanta Braves hat. So yeah, of all the teams.
Yeah, of all the teams, particularly this year.
Yeah, but even though I got that stuff, I was still like, I never considered supporting them. You know, it was the Blue Jays. That was it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So your first visit to them, was that then in 2017? Or had you been?
Yeah. So I'd been over in Canada in '89, but I was like 3. I have that as my earliest memory. I didn't go to baseball or anything then. Sure. We went again as a family in 2001. So we had 2 weeks with my aunt and uncle. They were in Detroit at that point, and then went to the other side in Ontario. So we went to a game in Detroit. We saw the Tigers playing the Cubs.
Yep.
So that was the first game I went to. That was, an interesting game. I can't remember what the score was, but it was like something like 15-11 or something. It was a high scoring game.
Right.
And it, like everything, you know, like home runs, broken bats, everything. I remember in the game at one point, one of the teams were behind and they scored. It was like the top of the 5th. They scored 7 runs. Or the bottom of the 5th, they scored 7 runs. And then the Cubs at the top of the 6th scored 7 runs. Do you know? And that was the first time I've been. I was like, well, this is what happens.
Yeah.
That wasn't what happens. But yeah, that was exciting. But that was that was almost 5 hours, that game. You know, it was finished close to midnight, and then there was fireworks after it. And but I loved it. And my uncle had got tickets through his work, so it was good seats, kind of just I guess about 10 rows back from the dugout.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then so we were there for a couple of weeks, and then went to like Ontario, and we saw the Blue Jays playing. They played the Red Sox.
Nice.
And they won, I think it was 4-3. They had a comeback win. They scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th.
Nice.
Which was amazing. I can't remember, it was either back to back or like there was a batter in between there. I think they'd like back to back ground rule doubles though. Because I remember watching the first one, like, what happens there? And my uncle's like, oh, that's a ground rule double. He's like, you don't really see it that often. And then 2 minutes later, there's another one. So yeah, so we saw them then, which was good. That was I enjoyed the first game with the Tigers and the Cubs and stuff, but obviously I loved being there in Toronto and up in the nosebleed seats.
Yeah.
There's a whole different perspective on the game.
Yeah, no, totally. I had been to the stadium in Detroit, and because it's right in the middle of downtown, isn't it? In Detroit, it's
So I can't remember because they're obviously in a newer stadium. I can't remember when that changed. If I was in the current one or the old stadium, I can't remember. I think it was the current one, but yeah.
And it's quite nice from what I remember. It's quite a nice ballpark. It's quite open at the back, so it overlooks the city, and you've got Ford Field next door, which is where the American football is played as well. So it's all sort of in that central zone in Detroit. And of course, a lot of people who were living sort of in Windsor in Ontario, which is just across the river, probably had a strong eye on the Tigers in those days, because obviously a lot nearer than, I don't know how long it is, but it's about 4 hours back up to Toronto, probably from there, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your first visit in to see the Jays, that would have been, of course, at Sky Dome as it was then. Up in, as you say, up in the nosebleed seats. What was that experience for you? You know, having sort of heard about this team, having had pennants and hats and everything else sort of coming across the Atlantic. How excited were you about going to see them for the first time?
It was great. I was really excited about going. Everything went, so it was. We were all over, but we went, me and my dad, my sister, and then one of my, it's not actually my cousin, I'll call her my cousin, it's my dad's cousin's daughter. I don't know what that official relationship is, but anyway, one of them was there, and my dad's cousin. So I know I loved it. Like, we're just like, I didn't know all the rules and stuff, so like, what does this mean? What does this mean? But we'd kind of, because I'd been at the game, my dad and I had been at the game a couple of weeks earlier, I'd kind of picked up most of the basic rules there.
Yeah,
I say most of them. There's about 9,000, obviously, but yeah, I'd picked up most of that, so I was kind of enjoying it and enjoying hanging out with folk as well and stuff. Obviously, it's the social occasion, so yeah, I really liked that. It was great, and obviously the fact that we won made it even better. You know, you're leaving on a high, and
totally brilliant. Yeah, very good. Sort of moving them forward from 2001. Did you get out again, or was your sort of next?
Yeah, 2017 was the next time we were out. When I'd actually been in Florida at one point, I think 2014, and we'd booked to go, and then the schedule came out, and I was like, they're playing the Rays on the last day of our holiday, but I was out with my wife and her mum and dad, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't be that selfish, you know. They won't have any interest whatsoever. So we didn't go then, but I went 2017. We actually went to a game in Cleveland. So we drove down to Cleveland. It was about 4 hours or something.
Progress Field, yeah.
Yeah, went down with my aunt and uncle, and the Blue Jays were playing the Indians then, which was good. And we got to see Marco Estrada pitching then, but he'd been through a kind of one of these kind of tough patches, and he was kind of beginning to come out of it. So he had a few good innings, and then kind of fell apart and stuff. We lost that, but I got to see Encarnacion. He was playing for the Indians at that point.
Of course, yes.
So we were a wee bit late getting to the ballpark. We were staying in a hotel, phoned for a taxi, and it took ages to get there.
Right.
Couldn't understand why it taking so long. Anyway, we got down, we're getting there, it's absolute gridlock. So we were a wee bit late going in. I think the Jays had actually scored in the first. We missed that. But anyway, we got in, we're watching it. Encarnacion hits a home run. And I'm not going to lie, I smiled and enjoyed it. You know, because it was such a... I love watching him and everything, so actually getting to see him playing was great, and hitting a home run was great, and we were still ahead at that point, so I was like, yeah, this is fine.
Yes.
And then we get absolutely horsed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good going there, and it was
nice.
That was a great experience. Again, kind of different seats, so seeing it from a different point of view again.
Yeah.
We came out that night, and the place was absolutely heaving.
Yeah.
And although the stadium's empty and the stadium wasn't packed, I couldn't see why it was so busy.
Yeah.
We found this taxi and asked if he'd take us, and he said, yeah. He said, but I've got 2 other people to drop off as well. And we're like, right, okay, like, that's fine though, because it's so busy. If we say no, we're not getting anything else.
Sure.
So when we squeeze in this taxi, these 2 other people come out, and we're chatting to them going, were you at the baseball? And I said, no, we're at the concert. And we're like, oh, what concert was it? So literally right next door, Queen and Adam Lambert were playing. And we're like, and everything had emptied at the one time the way it finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was good. And then the taxi driver's like taking us totally the opposite direction to drop them off. And I was like, this is the most bizarre thing. But it was fine. It was good, you know.
Yeah, we were in Cleveland on opening day one year. We didn't have tickets to the game. Jays weren't playing there, but we were traveling back from Chicago, heading back towards Toronto, and we just stayed off in Cleveland for 2 or 3 nights. And it was freezing cold. And they actually called the game off. You know, everybody's piling into the ballpark, but it was like -2 or something. But the wind chill was like -10.
Yeah.
And they just decided not to call it a day. But I don't know whether you got a chance to go to see the Rock and Roll Museum with your music.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did. We went to see that. My uncle was quite keen to take us into that as well.
Yeah, it's worth a visit, isn't it? If you're
it was great. It was great to see and stuff. I didn't know it was there until he told us. So it was good. But then, so that same holiday, we went kind of second last day, we went to Rogers Centre, reluctantly call it, but we went there. We saw the Jays playing the Angels.
Okay.
So my cousin on the other side of the family, she stays in Toronto. She's a bit scatty, a bit of a nightmare. She's great, but a bit of a nightmare. And she's like, "Oh, I think I can sort tickets. I think I can get us tickets." And it kept going on. And it got to like the day before, and I was like, "Karen, have you got these?" Nothing simple with her. It's like huge, long stories. Anyway, she didn't have tickets, but she's like, "The guy I normally get them from, he's away. I think he's getting back." Anyway, the last minute, she's like, "Right, I've got her tickets sorted." So she got them through a casino, where obviously she spends far too much time anyway, but it was tickets in a box. So
wow,
brilliant, this is great. Went, met her outside, went in, and so in the box you go in, there's like 2 rows of kind of seats and then a couple of couches and stuff. So we just went round. There was seats in the front row, so we just went and sat down. And then they'd like food out. There was like wings, popcorn, pizza, all the stuff just lying out. Just help yourself. So I was
amazing.
Like, chicken wings and baseball. Like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. So those are the box seats in the outfield, presumably? Are they where are they?
Like, so it wasn't right behind home plate or anything, but I guess like it's kind of the same level as like the commentators and all that.
Okay.
And kind of round towards the first base side a wee bit. Or sorry, the third base side a wee bit.
Right, okay.
So it was fine. It was good being there. It was a good experience. You get free food and drink and stuff. If I'm honest, I would far rather be in the stands. Do you know?
Right.
Because you're sitting in this box, there's like no atmosphere. These folks are here because they've got free tickets. It's not because they're big baseball fans.
Right, okay.
Do you know, so stuff happens and it's totally flat. Do you know whether your team's up or you're down? So it was good. It was great to experience it, but I was like, nah, I'd take the seats. I'd take the nosebleed seats every time over the box.
Yeah.
Do you know, but it was good. And my wife liked it because she got some free cocktails and all that. That was
she was happy. Yeah. So has she been won over? Is she, a fan?
Nah, not really. If if we were there on holiday and I said, do you want to come to the baseball with me, she would do it. But if I put it on the telly, I don't think she'd sit and watch it.
So we need to do a bit of work there then.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, there's something to be said for having your own time apart, isn't there? I think if I get into that, I might need to watch some of her programs on the telly.
Yeah, a bit of a compromise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So some of the games that you've seen, not necessarily in person, but obviously big games that the Jays have been involved in over the years that you've known them. Anything that particularly you stand out to you that you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I really started watching it properly in, I think, 2013. Around about then that I kind of signed up.
That wasn't a good season to start watching properly.
No, and I'd started after, because obviously there was all the hype at the start of the season. I'd started after they'd crashed and everything, like midway through the season. But I just signed up for the MLB TV and enjoyed it, and then kind of kept signing up after that. So obviously, like, the stuff in 2015 was amazing. Like, that 2015 team was unbelievable. Like, and you forget about how good the whole team was. Do you know? Because obviously you think about like Batista and Encarnacion and Donaldson and David Price and things like that, but like you forget about the other folk in it. I was looking up stats like Teodoro Navarro is part of it. So
he was.
In that season, I've got this in front of me. He had 192 at bats. Obviously, he wasn't best built for speed. He had 0 ground into double plays and 192 at bats. And you're like, that's an amazing stat and stuff. And like, even Danny Valencia, you totally forget he was part of the first half of the season. Like, he was batting almost 300.
Yeah.
And they just had to let him go because they didn't have room for them. Like, that's how good a team it was, you know. And I love watching, like, especially with that team, I loved seeing the different personalities on the team. Do you know, like, I'm a total geek for that side of thing, and like the kind of psychology part of sports.
Sure.
I love looking into that and seeing, like, so like, let's take Marcus Stroman, total Marmite player. Do you know, you love him or hate him, but I love seeing it, like, when he's swaggering about and stuff. That's what makes him tick. That's what makes him a good player. I get that from playing sports. Now, I'm not going to go and swagger about, but I understand that that's the persona he needs to perform his best and stuff. But then on the other side, there's like Marco Estrada, just as quiet as anything, head down, does his job, and that's what makes him. Do you know, I love that sort of thing. But after that, like obviously that playoff was amazing. Sitting watching that, still hurts seeing that guy reaching over the outfield wall and turning a double into a home run for Kansas City and stuff. But yeah, that was good. I remember watching at my house. I was just watching myself. My wife was in bed, and a guy from my golf club just suddenly texted me and he was like, "What about this game?" I was like, "Brilliant! There's someone here." So he was he'd stayed in Toronto for a few years and stuff, but I didn't know he's really followed it or anything. But he was texting me a wee bit and stuff, and obviously when the ball, and Russell Martin's throwing the ball back and it come off Chu's bat, the two of us are texting like, it can't end like this. It can't end like this. But yeah, that was amazing. But the next year, so the wild card game, obviously I was delighted we made the wild card. I was away with school with a trip, like we'll call it a band residential because I don't want to say the other term. But we had kids away on this trip, and the first night was the night of the wild card game. And I was like, oh man, I need to watch this. Like I can't go 3 days waiting to see it. So we all had like a dorm of kids. So basically there's my room in the middle and then there's the dorm round about. So the dorm I had was younger kids, and my boss was like 10 o'clock, lights out.
Yeah.
I was like, perfect. 10 o'clock, lights out. They all went to sleep, no bother. I went to sleep, set my alarm for 1 o'clock or whatever it was. And I sat in this wee dorm with no Wi-Fi or anything, so I was just burning data on my phone. I think I used half my month's data. And I was just sitting watching it, and every time, like, I was that desperate, every time it got to the change innings, I'd stop it and sit and wait for a minute and a half and start it again. And yeah, that was good. And I watched it, and I remember just it went on and on into extras. And I remember sitting watching Encarnacion's at bat.
Yeah.
And I remember the pitch, he hit the home run. The pitch was halfway to the plate, and I just said to myself, "This is it." I knew it. I knew he'd timed it up, and he hit it. And obviously that was amazing. So the next morning, all the staff are up. We're getting breakfast, and they're all going, "Oh, hardly getting any sleep. Those girls up all night chatting. These boys, blah blah blah." And I was like, I was watching the baseball for 4 hours. It's like the kids were all asleep. Like, you're crazy. And I was like, yeah, but that's what we need to do. But so the funny thing was then the next year we were back in the same place, and I remember walking into the same room and just getting like chills from being in that place and remembering like just those emotions come flooding back.
Yeah.
The weird thing is I've only had that once or twice with different things, but
yeah,
I think that's the only time I've had it with something really positive. But yeah, it was cool just walking back into the room, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is where it happened, you know. But
amazing. What amazing memories. Brilliant. Well, let's just turn our thoughts just back to last year then.
Okay.
How did you fare through last year? Very exciting season overall.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. It's just, yeah, I was disappointed at the end, but not disappointed in the team, just disappointed that they'd done so well and not made the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? That like if you'd said to me at the start of the season you'd get 91 wins, I'd bite your hand off, do you know? But to get 91 wins and not make the playoffs, that's a killer. You know, especially when the team that won the World Series are nowhere near 90 wins in an easy division. But
sure,
yeah, the team were great and stuff. And I think the two biggest things that stopped them making the playoff, apart from the Yankees and the Red Sox, the two biggest things were like obviously not having a home field for half a season.
Yeah,
it's hard to measure that, but you know what it's like when you're away. If you're away with work and stuff, you just want to get back to your own bed. You know, it makes a difference. That and Kirby Yates, I mean, they've signed someone that they know has got a history of injury problems, but they're obviously never expecting to miss a full season. Do you know, if he's there for half the season, you know, especially the first half of the season, we obviously had bullpen troubles, but
yeah,
if he's there, we definitely win a few more games and stuff. Do you know? But
yeah,
just one of these things. But it was great. You know, it was great to watch and it was exciting. And that's as much as we want to win. That's what it's all about. You know, we get so hung up on the final destination that you forget to enjoy the journey. Do you know? But that's total cliche. But that is what it's all about. You know.
Yeah.
But positive. You know, like it was good to see Guerrero doing what we kind of hoped and expected from him. From when he's come up, it's taken him a couple of years to get there, but you know he's there, and maybe he's not going to be quite as good this year. You never know; he might be better, but he can do it. You know, that's what we needed to know. But it was a good fun to watch the team and stuff, and seeing Robbie Ray we didn't. I don't think any of us had especially high hopes for him. Like, maybe thought he'd be a solid pitcher, but
Sure.
I don't think anyone really was expecting him to be a Cy Young and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then Samain was unreal as well. That was amazing to have for that year and stuff. And he's not back, but just we'll move on and someone else will step up hopefully.
See where it lands. Yeah, I mean, are you excited about the 20? Well, let's assume there is baseball. Are you excited about the prospect of this team coming back? Yeah. And you're happy with the sort of signings they've made thus far? Anybody or any position that you're particularly concerned about?
Not especially. I'm not especially concerned about any position. Like, I obviously just like more pitching depth, because you're going to need more. We've got 4 very good starters, and we've got good options for the 5th starter. But obviously, you always want more depth, and more depth in the pen and stuff. In terms of position players, I'd say I'm all right with it, and I'm all right with second and third base at the minute. I know that's maybe not popular, but someone who was it a couple of weeks ago, someone was saying about Biggio and they still think he's got a chance to break out. Like, I'm absolutely in that camp. Like, I think everyone's just given up on him really, really quickly. But I think, he's not going to be Vlad, but he can still be a good player for us. We just need to wait and see, and it might not work out. But I think it's too early to give up on him.
And do you like Espinal? Do you like Espinal at third?
Yeah, Espinal I think he had a good season last year, and he's not the high profile name stuff, but you're not going to get 1 to 9 absolute mashers, are you? So it's all part of the team, and for my money, if they can keep that money and use it elsewhere, maybe that's the option to do. Like, I remember in 2014 we had a kind of good team, and it got to the trade deadline, we were all hoping to do something, and they didn't have any money left to do anything, and then we come into 2015 and they had money left over at the start of the season, so when it got to the deadline they could make these trades. Like, it's important to do that, because the trades do make a difference. They always make a big difference to the teams,
Totally.
But no, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really tough division again, but I think we're as good as anyone in it, and our team, more than the others, I'd say, is heading towards their prime. Do you know what I mean? We've got a lot of young players that are going to get a bit better and a bit better. So from that point of view, I fancy our chances. We'll just see. And obviously, if you get into the playoffs, then it's kind of form, isn't it? In the playoffs, like, they always say form is temporary and class is permanent. It's class to win your division, but it's form to win the playoffs, like our limpet.
Yeah. Where do you see them finishing in the division?
Hopefully top. But I don't know. I'm horrendous at predictions, absolutely horrendous. So there's a group of us play the fantasy league every year, and every year I'm like, yes, this is it. I've got the edge. I know stuff that these people don't know. These experts that rate players for a living. But I'm always terrible. But no, I don't. I would think we'd make the playoffs. Although I've seen they've changed the playoff. They're changing the playoff format to 7 per league. So I think, definitely we should make the playoffs given that. But even without that changing, I think we would have. I think we'd be top 2 in the division, hopefully. But it's going to be tough, I think there's not going to be much between the top 3 again.
And who would you pip if somebody was pipping the Jays to first spot? Who would that team be? Who do you think's the stronger one?
I don't know. New York always looks like they've made good trades and they never work out. There's something not right in that. They're the Man United of the league now, aren't they? But
they are at the moment,
it's just always hard to discount the Rays. They just get it done. Just it's such a well-run organisation and find a way to do things right. I think they're probably. That's kind of that's always our matchup. If we can beat the Rays over the season, it's a good season, and we have a good season, But too often. They just annoy us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's excellent. Let's head towards our 10 questions as we're sort of drawing to a close. Okay. So I'm going to just throw these out. Actually, before I do that, Dave, I just one thing I haven't mentioned, which isn't great when it comes to a pod, because people won't see it. But on your wall to your right hand shoulder, you have a Blue Jays bit of artwork, which looks very similar to the Blue Jays bit of artwork that I have hanging over my left shoulder as well.
Yes, it is Chris Ripley.
Yeah, it's Chris Ripley of Blue Jays Art on Twitter and other places. So which season have you got hanging on your wall there?
That's the end of the 2016 season.
Okay. Yeah, mine's the 2015. So
yeah, so I almost got that, and then I decided against that, and I'm not to annoy you, I'm really glad I waited, because now he's got the centerpiece is the 3 home runs, the Joe Carter one, the Batista one, and the Encarnacion one. And
nice.
Good, like amazing pictures on. So I bought that, I had birthday money and stuff, and bought it, and I said to my wife, I was like, I'm just going to put it up in the garage, and she was like, oh, you've spent money on it, you can't put it in the garage, we'll put it in the living room.
Lovely.
Like, right, okay, I didn't expect that. Do you know, I was trying to hide my excitement there when she said it, but yeah, now with young Scott along, she was like, I think we might need to move that. Right, okay. I tried to convince her we could move the picture from our engagement shoot, but she wasn't having that.
Absolutely. But they are amazing bits of work. If you haven't seen them, do look up Chris Ripley. He's based out in Calgary, I think, off the top of my head. But his artwork is just second to none, really. It's extraordinary stuff. So very nice hanging on the wall there. Okay, let's do our quick 10 questions and just see where you land with these. So your favorite player from 2021?
I find it really hard to pick one, to be honest. I don't really know. I like Manoah, I like Gurriel, Hernandez. I don't know. These guys just seem to, they all seem to have fun, but I just like the way they seem to have fun playing and stuff. And Manoah just came in and new pitcher to the league and stuff, and you're hoping he can be okay, and he was brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
Just it seems a nice big guy, just big gentle giant, gets on with it. And but the other two, I like watching Gurriel and playing out in the field, and you know, his outfield assists and stuff like that, and I like that side of it, the kind of art of defence. And
and he's done exceptionally well, hasn't he, considering he wasn't a natural first baseman. He played at third base for a bit and then obviously moved across, and they worked hard with him, and he did some good plays over 2021.
Exciting.
Very good. Excellent. Favorite Jays player of all time?
Encarnacion, hands down. I don't know why, just always liked him, just from when I started watching, you know, just another big kind of gentle giant, but unbelievable hitter and stuff. And I loved that. See, when he got into like a good rut, that doesn't make sense, a good groove, and you see him just like rocking into pitches. Just amazing. Was it 2014 he had a month, did he not have like 14 homers in the month of May or something? Like, unbelievable. It's just every day you're just waiting for the next one. But there's a lot of guys from that 2015 team that I loved though, and I'm going to say one really controversial one, Colabello. Loved watching him.
Well,
and
in his day, he was brilliant.
Yeah, I would say 100%. I don't believe he took performance enhancing drugs. Do you know, he's still fighting it to this day, and he's not playing. And I just think if he'd taken them, he wouldn't still be drawing attention to it. Do you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, that season he was amazing. Then obviously that happened, and he wasn't the same. But I don't think any of us would be the same if we had something like that hanging over us.
No, it's massive, isn't it? Yeah, it's massive.
But him, and there was a few from then, like Ryan Goins and stuff, underrated players. Ryan Goins' defence was brilliant. Watching that.
Yeah, his pitching wasn't too bad either, was it?
Was he got a 0 ERA?
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I think he was then injured for the next, 2 or 3 weeks, wasn't he? Because he put so much effort into it. But okay, your favourite non-Jays player?
I'd say, I don't know, now maybe. It's hard not to like Mike Trout, isn't it? He seems such a good person and unbelievable player.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, probably him. Previous players like, that's probably another controversial one. Here I go, but David Ortiz.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Big
that was the
Papi.
year I kind of started watching. I remember watching the playoffs and he was on a tear that playoff, and every time he came to the plate, you're just sitting going, why are you pitching to him?
Sure.
Why are you not walking him? But yeah, but he was just, I love his presence at the plate. He's obviously a big guy, but he stands there so quietly, there's not much movement in the bat. Everything's dead slow.
Yeah.
And just explodes.
Yeah. No, excellent. Very good. Yeah, well, this one might be interesting based on the fact that you've been to a couple. Your favourite ballpark away from Rogers Centre?
Probably Progressive Field away from Rogers Centre. I mean, it probably is Progressive Field, but obviously I like Rogers Centre because of the sentimental fact of it and
Sure.
the fact it's the Blue Jays and all that. But yeah, I mean, to be honest though, I probably don't remember enough from Detroit to make a fair judgment. But yeah, but they talk about like the Rogers Centre, like, oh, it's really old, it's dated. Like these modern ones, it's all just steel. It's all just concrete floors, walls, ceilings that they just dress up a wee bit.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to see it in a nice backdrop.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I think the Rangers new ballpark looks terrible. Obviously they're playing.
For the team,
absolutely perfect for the team, but they're obviously playing in an environment which is, they need a roof from the heat point of view. But what they've created there, it's a shocking design. Okay, so when you were in your box, what was your favourite baseball food that you got dished up on that day?
In the box, chicken wings. Like I just can't see past chicken wings. Okay. My uncle took us to the Anchor Bar in Buffalo. Just amazing. It's just in heaven. But like apart from that, probably hot dogs. Though, if you're sitting in a stand, you're probably not going to get chicken wings, but hot dogs.
Typical stuff.
Easily pleased.
Yeah, it sounds like not much haggis being served up in the ballpark these days.
Not. They're missing out.
And what drink would you go with your food?
I'm not really that fussed, to be honest. I don't drink alcohol, so it would just be a drink of juice like Sprite, lemonade, Coke, whatever. I wouldn't. Yeah. If they don't have Highland Brew, I'm not that fussed.
Sure. Highland Brew.
But yeah. That's it. Pure nectar.
Absolutely. Your day or night game?
If I was at the game, probably night game. Obviously over here, I like watching the day games and like the 4 o'clock start for us. So on 9 o'clock is perfect for me. Scott's in bed.
Yeah,
I can sit and watch it. But yeah, if I was there, probably a night game.
Very good. Oh, my phone's just closed at the inappropriate time. Your favourite Jays jersey colour?
Just the royal blue.
Okay, nice and traditional.
Yeah, I quite like the white as well. I've never really liked the grey. The new blue, I didn't like it at first. I'm beginning to like it a wee bit, but I still wouldn't be buying it.
Okay.
I did buy one of the hats though, but
yeah,
just not that convinced by it.
Okay, nobody's gone for red jerseys yet. I don't think I've had a red one yet. For obvious reasons. Okay, your favourite Jays number on the back of your shirt?
So it would be 10 for me, predating like an Encarnacion. So when I play golf, you need to mark your golf ball with ink or whatever, so you can identify it as yours. And I've always just marked it with a 10.
Okay.
I don't really know why. I guess maybe from watching football and stuff. I'm not even that big a football fan, but there's just a few players I liked that were number 10, and the mighty Phil O'Donnell for Motherwell.
Oh, the mighty.
Zinedine Zidane and all that, and
yeah, of course. Very good. Okay, number 10, and roof open or roof closed?
Open, I think. I would like to see it open during the game, but yeah, you'd want it open.
Yeah,
that nice skylight.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. That's one of my memories from that holiday I had in '89 when I was 3 years old, was being in the CN Tower, looking down, and the roof was opening when we were looking down. And I remember my dad saying, like, "Oh, if anyone's got tickets, or if anyone didn't get tickets for the game, you can just watch it from here and stuff." Yeah. It just came into my mind there. Like, I've not thought that for ages, but it just came into my head there.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great memories. Dave, brilliant. That was excellent chatting to you. I had loads of other questions that I was going to just chat to you about the CBA and all that sort of stuff and whether we're actually going to get baseball, but I think time's basically run out on us. But what I did want to just close with, because at the time of recording, the GB curling team ladies curling team have just got through to the gold medal final. Obviously the guys got through yesterday, and I was just, being Scottish, I just wanted to know, and I was going to ask you at the beginning, I totally forgot, but being Scottish, what's your, let's just end on a real positive, what's your curling skills like?
Yep. I've never ever tried it. I saw a curling stone once in a B&B I was in. No, I don't know. I can tell you all the curling stones for the Olympics are made by one company in Scotland.
Right.
That's
okay.
That's the extent of my knowledge. But
so you're not very adept with the old broom around the house. Your wife hasn't got you sort of mopping the floors and doing all that stuff.
Not just the Hoover, I'm afraid.
Yeah, just the Hoover. But many congratulations then. I mean, it's a great achievement because we've not done so well at this Winter Olympics as we have in previous years. So to see those two teams go through is an amazing feat. And so really rooted for them. I love the curling. I get quite into it actually. So it's good stuff.
It's one of these ones you see at the Olympics and you suddenly into it again, and then
totally
you'll watch it for another 4 years. But
exactly.
Yeah.
We're all experts. We all know how to do it. Dave, thank you so much for spending time tonight. It's been really cool to catch up with you. Just enjoyed listening to your stories and memories and just the things that have brought joy to you and your family in terms of watching the Jays. And let's just keep hoping that we do get baseball next year. It's still looking very dodgy at the moment, I think, to be fair. But it's
I'm optimistic.
Let's hope so. I think the only thing that came out in the news this week, which I was really pleased to hear, is about Dante Bichette, Bo Bichette's dad, who of course was employed by the Jays as one of their coaches. But because with the CBA thing, the coaching teams and the players can't talk to each other, so he's actually resigned from his post with the Jays in order for him to be able to carry on helping Bo and I think a couple of the other guys who are based down in Florida as well. So I think, tip of the cap to him in helping the players keep focused and just waiting for whatever happens to happen. So we'll see where it lands. Anyway, mate, thank you so much. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed listening to Dave's stories. Again, just to remind you that if you want to come on and tell us a little bit about yourselves, then please let me know. Get in touch either by email or by Twitter. But for now, we thank you for listening and look forward to catching up with you soon. Take care. Bye.
The Red, White and Blue Jays podcast is a production of Blue Jays Fans UK. If you've got a Blue Jays story to share, let us know. Email us at bluejaysfansuk@gmail.com and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Blue Jays Fans UK. I'm your announcer, Jim Langton. Thanks for listening.